So this is a rare treat tonight. We have some multi-tools in what is really one of my favorite frame sizes, 3.5, 3-inch frame size. So let's get all these out of the way. We'll talk about the new guy on the block. This is the Gerber Bullrush. Now, I have heard some stuff about this. When I first got into multi-tools, I watched tons of videos, and one of the first videos I remember was actually on the Gerber Bullrush, comparing that to the Gerber Crucial. So sort of holds a special place, I guess, in my heart to some extent, because I think maybe I just started the channel and I was talking about tools and screwdrivers, and then eventually I jumped into multi-tools. Now, the Gerber Bullrush is a heavy small tool. This comes in at 8.32 ounces, almost as much as the Leatherman Wave. Now, that's a little crazy in my book. It is 235 grams for those of you watching overseas. This right here, it does have G10 scales, which makes it a little different. It does have a pretty beefy for its size pair of pliers, not too bad, nice wire cutters, and they're spring loaded. So a lot of people are really into the spring loaded pliers, so it does have that. And then we have a lot of outside opening tools. So we have things like the safety cutter. Now, unfortunately, this really doesn't cut paracord at all. It does some, but it's really hard. I might bump the camera, so not a huge fan of that. Well, we'll just try it. We'll see here. I'll just show you how it works. Let's go ahead. And, well, there we go. So anyway, it will cut, but I think it'd be a lot easier to just use a knife. So it definitely needs sharpened or something. Not a huge fan of that. All these tools do lock on the outside. It does have the knife. I really do like the thumb stud and the Bullrush and the Crucial design. It is a combo blade, as you can see right there. Then we do have the Phillips screwdriver. Now, one of my gripes against this is that it does not fit the universal adapter. So it's too thick, it's too bulky, but again, it does lock. So we've got that as well. And then somewhere around here, there it is, we've got the flat screwdriver that locks into place as well. So this is the tool set for the Gerber Bullrush. Again, 8.32 ounces to me just seems a little bit too heavy. Now let's go over some ground rules that I've sort of made up, but I do think they're important. When you're designing a small multi-tool, that already people are comparing it to, well, what about my Leatherman Wave? Why would I want this over my Leatherman Wave? One of the things you need is it needs to offer more tools than people expect for its size. And I feel like the Gerber Bullrush does not necessarily meet that criteria because it's so heavy. And so I feel like that was sort of its downfall, part of its downfall. I think a lot of these small tools need a weight cut. So this one definitely does. A lot of times when you're making a tool like this, it needs to be fairly light and then needs to be comparably priced. So those are three criteria. It needs to be light. It needs to outshine. It needs to surprise people with its tool set, and then needs to be of comparable value. Now, this is no longer made, and I can understand why, because to be honest, the Gerber Crucial is probably the better option. So the Gerber Crucial is still sold. This comes in at 5 ounces, so a full 3 ounces and a little bit more lighter. It's only $45 on Amazon. It is $50 or so on Gerber's website. And you do get the pliers. You don't get spring-loaded pliers. You don't get any of the G10 handles, but you do get a very similar tool set. Plus you get a pocket clip, which I think is pretty big as well. And then you get this clip right here. You get the combo blade knife. And then you also get the Phillips screwdriver, and then you also get the flat screwdriver as well. And these all lock into place. They have their own locks there as well. Now, I did buy an older Gerber strap, Crucial with a strap cutter, and this one does just as bad or worse. Now, this was very used, very rusted. And it disappointed me in that his spring broke, but again, it was in awful condition. So I guess I can't really blame Gerber for that. But I do think the Crucial, which is still made, is definitely a better option if you're actually going to use the tool than the Bullrush. But I like this because I do have a fairly full Gerber collection and I can add this to it. So again, this comes in 5 ounces, $45. Doesn't meet my 3 criteria. Well, 5 ounces, it does offer a fair amount of tools, not a huge amount. I really would prefer that there was like a bit driver in this place, but some people probably like the strap or the this right here where you can attach it to the packs. Price-wise, it's fairly comparable to, I think, one of the leaders in the segment, the SOG Powerpint, because these are essentially your only 2 competitors to some extent. And it doesn't need a weight cut at 5 ounces. I think it's pretty light. And so I think overall it's an okay tool. But I do think the SOG Powerpint still beats it out. And let's talk about that. Why? Now, this SOG Powerpint I actually got on AliExpress. AliExpress has the 11/11 sale, which November 11th, they have, it's like you get $4 off every $20 you spend. This one right here is around $30. So I ended up getting $4 off. It was more like 27 or 28. And so I ended up spending around $24 for it total, which is really unique. So this one right here, it's a great little plier. You've got the 1/4 inch driver in the back. And again, I like to do this just to exaggerate it, but you can use that for your screwdriver right there in the back. Sort of pinches right there against your bits and has a magnet as well. You do have this pocket clip, which is really nice. And some people are saying, what's the difference between this at $24, $30 or so, and the SOG Powerpint sold in the US from overseas? I can't tell. I don't know if I can tell any difference. So I'm not sure the full story. Some people say that essentially overseas, they've taken the same machinery that they make for SOG and they've decided to make it themselves and sell it themselves without SOG's write-up. I don't know if that's happening, but I do know that this seems to be the exact tool or pretty close to it. So on this side, you have the knife, you've got the awl, you've got a micro screwdriver. Now with the Christmas season coming up, I do use this to actually work on the kids' toys, or I use micro screwdrivers like this. They come in very handy when you've got those battery covers and all kinds of other things. You do have this cutter. I've tried this cutter out. It's even worse than the Gerber on paracord, not very good. And then you do have this file as well. So the knife and the screwdriver I use a lot. And then I use the pliers a lot, and I do use the serrated blade and the scissors a lot as well. So I find that very useful on the Powerpint. So you do have a can opener, you have a small Phillips screwdriver. I have used that in the past as well, bottle cap lifter. And then you do have these scissors. Now, a lot of people will say these scissors are junk. They're awful. They just need thrown away. Well, you can throw yours away. I'm going to keep mine because I do find that they're fine for like small tasks. So sometimes I'll need to cut off tags off my kids' clothes or my clothes. I just got a new jacket and I think I might have used this to cut the tag off of it, but there's small tasks like that where the scissors actually do come in handy. And I do really like it. So I've been carrying this and I really like carrying this in the pocket. It's been an excellent tool. I do think this is one of the best designs out there in this segment at the time. 4.2 ounces, $49 on SOG's website. It's been on sale on Amazon and on SOG's website actually a lot this year. And you can find it at certain times on AliExpress for $24. SOG multi-tools are disappearing off of AliExpress. So if you want one, you better snatch one up quick because something is happening there. I'm not sure what it is, but people have commented on that. And I've even seen some multi-tools becoming, they're just disappearing. So for whatever reason. Now, as far as we talk about Gerber, if Gerber were to make a perfect design tool, I really like this lockdown drive right here. And I wish the Gerber would make something very small, very lightweight with a set of pliers, sort of similar to this. Gerber Crucial is fine, but I just find the symmetry of it a little bit off, maybe a little bit off-putting. Let's see if I can open this up. And it's okay, but I just don't find it... I find it, I guess, a little bit more awkward than the Powerpint. I like the Powerpint's clean lines. Maybe that doesn't make sense to some of you, but perhaps some of you can understand that. And I guess I just still would go with the Powerpint. But I do think the Gerber Crucial does have some value, so make sure to pick that up if that's something you're interested in. As always, Leatherman, bring back the Leap. I think this is one of the best tools still in this segment to this day, even though it's discontinued. I really wish Leatherman would bring something like this back, but I think I'm speaking to empty air, unfortunately. Hey, I'll see you in the next video.